Thanks for choosing to watch the video. Yes, that's right, we are still locked in at home. But in this one, just before the lockdown, we did a bit of old school float fishing. Okay, so we are still all on lockdown. I hope you're all managing to cope okay. It is a bit tricky, isn't it, not being able to go fishing and being locked indoors. But I do hope you're all staying safe and well, managing to keep yourself busy. I've been able to. I've kept myself busy, I've done stuff in the house. You know, the garden's never looked better. Obviously I've been prepping a lot of my gear. Another thing that I've been doing is something that I did when all the pubs and the nightclubs and the restaurants, when they all closed, is that I had a bit of a brainwave. Before all the DIY stores closed, I went and bought a load of timber and I started to build myself a pub in my shed. Out of desperation more than anything, and it's been fantastic. So a couple of times each week we've been going down the pub at the bottom of the garden, having a few drinks, and that's been fantastic. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the pub. So here we go. There it is. There's the old shed. And there we go, look. There is my pub in the shed. There's the old Joanna. I want to tinkle the ivories. Pleased with that. What have we got on tap? Truth be known, absolutely nothing, because they don't work. They're just pretend. Got a few bits and pieces. We've got a fridge full of cold beer. Bit of music up the top there, look. And of course, no pub is complete without some pork scratchings, right? There we are. That is the pub that is now in my shed. So yeah, been managing to keep myself busy. I am starting to feel it though, in terms of the fishing. It's starting to creep in now. I've not been for 3 weeks, which is probably longer than I've ever not been fishing. So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. I'm gonna level with you. We are running out of fishing content because we can't go out there, we can't get any more, but I have got some. Just before the lockdown, we did a little bit of fun fishing with floats. Now, I was sent these amazing floats by Sam King. I'm going to put a link in the description down to Sam's Facebook page. But I mean, look at these. Aren't they absolutely stunning? Look, lovely little bobber there, all handmade. There's another one, sort of waggler style float, I think, but look, all personalised, beautifully finished floats. And there's a stick float. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of these, and obviously as soon as I got them, I was as keen as mustard to get out there and give them a go. Now, bearing in mind I got them in February, I decided in very early March I couldn't wait any longer, and I decided that I was going to take these to a local lake and fish old school style, traditional, with a worm underneath them, to see if I could pick up an early season tench. On reflection, it was a little bit too early, I think, because the carp got there first every single time. But it didn't matter, had a lot of fun, and for me, there is something very magical about the float still. I don't know what it is. What is that? What is it that we love about seeing a float? You know, some bubblers appear just around a float, especially in spring. You know, the bubblers coming up round the float before it then just slides away. Still for me, that is really quite a magical thing. And maybe it is because that's where we all started. But anyway, I'm babbling on a bit. Let's cut to me on the lake, fishing with the floats, having a bit of fun. Getting a couple of twitches on the float now. Could either be small fish, or sometimes you get, obviously, you know, the tail of a larger fish or whatever, just flicking the line. There, you can see it again there. Go on, slide away. Willing it to slide away. Go on. Slide away and give me an early spring tench. God, it's still cold. It's been a really sunny day today and it's felt nice in the sun, but as soon as it goes down, you know, it's early March, and you know, it feels it once the sun goes in. Yeah, it's feeling a little bit too big for a tench. Not huge, but a bit too much power. It must be a small carp. So it's another little carp on the float. Good fun. Ain't gonna knock it. On a worm. Under a handmade float. It's all good fun. It's gonna give up in a sec, for sure. Sure, he's gonna give up in a bit. Yeah, look, it's not very big. Oh my God, this little thing is absolutely crazy. Come on, get in the net. He's not giving up. He's got to be ours, surely. As soon as he rolls, there he is. Ah, good fun. Great fun. And there he is, look, had to wait till last knock-ins. I mean, I only came down for a very short session. He's not the tench we're after. Good fun on light tackle though with the float. Yeah, I'm going to put him back. And then it wasn't much longer before another bigger fish came along. Lovely personalised handmade floats by Sam King. And I'm out here tench fishing with them. And yeah, we have a bit of a gate crusher. That was quite a fight on light gear. So what I like to fish is a sliding float rig. This particular lake, it's got a range of different depths going from 6 foot up to about 12 foot. So it hasn't got any really shallow swims, or the ones that I was going to fish weren't going to be that shallow. So I was going to be fishing from 6 to 12 foot, maybe 13 foot some of them. So I wanted a sliding float rig, and I'll take you through that now. So I've got 8-pound main line going down to about 2 foot of 6-pound line as a kind of hook length. First thing that I put on the line is a stopper, like a float stop. That would go on the line straight away. Then I would thread on my float, if you can see that. That just goes straight onto the line like so, up to the stopper like that. Now that first float stop that I put on, that is going to act as, that's going to set the depth. Because then I put that float on, I come down, and then what I do is I use an olivette, if you can see that. So an olivette put between 2 stoppers, that then goes down. I've then tied on a slightly lighter piece of line just for the last part of the rig. That's going down to a couple of shot that are just going to hold bottom, down to a reasonable size hook, a size 12 hook. Okay. Now the reason that hook's still quite a big hook is because my plan is to use lobworms, and I like quite a big hook when I'm using worms because they can be quite chunky, especially when what I do with worms, which I think is a little bit of a tip. If you're going to fish worms, cut them in half. The bloody bits, if you like, up near where you've cut it, make sure that they're up near the hook, and leave the two entrails coming down. And then what I use is a small rubber maggot just to make sure that those lobworms stay on the hook. And that's it. So that's the rig. So just to run through it again: float stop at the top, then to put the float on the line, comes down to my olivette, down to my hook link, couple of shot just to hold bottom, because I do fish this just over depth. So if you can imagine, those are going to sit on the bottom, and then down to the hook and the worm. What you'll do is you'll get to the swim, you put the plummet on, because you do need to plummet, and if this float sinks, you know that that top float stop needs to go up the line, because remember, this float is going to slide up the line until it hits that stop. So put a plummet on until this is just sitting nicely in the water. I just want it kind of like that in the water, and then I know those couple of shot at the bottom are just sitting on the deck and everything's just as I want it, and then a fish picks it up and it slides away. So there you go. So that's the float rig I'm using. I hope it's of use. Let's get back to the fishing. So this time it was only about a week later, but the conditions were completely different. It had gone nice and mild. After a short while of feeding the swim with maggots, it wasn't long before my worm was picked up and the float slid away. Bloody hell, look at that reel go. Jesus Christ. That is some run. Oh God. I think we got one of the better fish, because that first run was crazy. On the float too. Oh my gosh. That really did go, that. First run was insane. Oh, we've got some pads down here, which isn't great. Let's get over the fish. Float just ducked away. Fish is coming back round here now. Right, yeah, I think we can calm down a bit now. Absolutely flew out into the lake. Well, it's definitely not the tench we're after, that's for sure. Well, the rivers are in a mess, so we're out here having fun on the lakes with a float. Can't knock it, it's all good fun. Trying to get the tench, but you know, the carp are just a bit too active. So this one, lobworm in the edge. Fishing a worm underneath this really nice handmade float. Absolutely boring deep, this fish. Doesn't want none of it. Whew. Boring, really deep. Not very happy at all. Right, let's get the net. really good scrap. Here we go. Caught on the float, on a worm. Absolutely fantastic. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Really cold still. The water's freezing. So thanks for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, then please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Let's hope, fingers crossed, in the next one we're all out there, we're fishing again, and I can get the GoPro on and actually get some more fishing content for you. It is starting to get a little bit of a struggle. I'm running out of content, but I am keen to try and bring you something every 2 weeks. I think it's more important than ever that people are putting things out there for us to watch during this lockdown period. If we can't go fishing, we want to watch stuff about it, don't we? So I'm going to try and do my bit. But if I do get to a point where I really, I can't show you any fishing content, let's hope we don't get to a point where I'm just posting reviews of products. I wouldn't really want to put you through that. I do want to include fishing, but obviously I can't put content out there about fishing if I'm not allowed to go fishing. So let's just see how we get on. I'll be bringing out little bits of prep that I'm doing. I'm mainly putting those on Instagram and IGTV. So if you're interested in my preparation and the bits and pieces that I'm doing in order to get prep for when I do get back out there, maybe check me out on Instagram. I think the main thing is that you all stay indoors right now, you stay safe, you look after each other, and just try and make the best of it. So in the meantime, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.